Wait a second.
Magic fist bump. Keep it right there. Don't move it. Squeeze.
Hey guys, it's Yannick with Illusionist, and this video is for anyone who's always wanted to learn a card trick but never got around to it. So look no further, because right now I'm going to teach you a super simple, beginner-friendly card trick with a big payoff at the end. This trick was famously performed by Chris Pratt on the Graham Norton show. To be fair, it's one of the oldest card tricks in the book, but with the right presentation and a little bit of personality, this trick plays big. So don't underestimate it. It's the perfect first card trick to learn. And with that being said, let's just jump right into the tutorial. Okay, I actually want to begin by explaining the ending first, which obviously has the big magic moment, and then I'll walk you through how to get to that point. Okay, so within this trick, normally the spectator ends up with 4 cards. Okay, you can use 5, I wouldn't use any more or any less. Okay, 4 or 5 is fine. Now, within this trick, the bottom card will always be the spectator's selection. Obviously, they don't know that. That's going to be the surprise. Again, how we get there, I'll share that with you in a minute. Now, just know those 4 cards go in the spectator's hand. So you'll ask your spectators to make a fist, the thumb goes up, and the cards go underneath, so your spectator is pinching those cards, something like this, okay? Now, all you have to do, and this is the secret, there is no real secret, is you're gonna slap those cards. You go straight up, straight down, you hit those cards, you can see they fly away dramatically, which actually helps the effect massively. And 1 card stays in, which will always be the bottom card of those 4 or 5 cards, and it's going to be the spectator's selection. Okay? So that's the part that you want to practice a little bit with your friend or even by yourself, the way you see me do it now. But you know, one thing that you want to pay attention to is that the spectator doesn't pinch the cards too deep like this and has a gorilla grip on it and you can't do anything. Okay? So they go in like this. The thumb is covering the cards slightly. You tell your spectator to squeeze, pinch them down. You go straight up, straight down. I always aim for roughly the middle of the cards. And then again, they fly off. The bottom card stays in. And then as a big surprise, somehow it's the spectator's selection. And how we get to the spectator's selection, I'm going to teach you right now. Alright, now that you understand the big secret to this card trick, which is literally just slapping cards out of your spectator's hand, which is always fun, we could focus on the structure. Now again, I want to make this as beginner friendly as I can. So if you've never even done a single card trick in your life, you will be able to do this trick. If you never even held a deck of cards, you're going to be able to do this trick. Okay, there's one tiny little slide that you have to practice, but it's super beginner friendly. Anyone who's been in Magic for longer than a week knows about this slide. You might gonna roll your eyes, but trust me, this is a great way to start. The rest is just presentation. You can have some fun with it, and the ending is worth it. Trust me. So here we go. First of all, step 1 is have the cards shuffled by your spectator, because if they can shuffle, let them. It makes the trick just a little bit more impossible, makes it all a bit more fair. The spectator trusts you a little bit more right away, because one of the first things you always hear is, oh, yeah, special cards, especially if it's your own deck. Okay, so obviously you can borrow the cards, but let them shuffle the cards. There's another reason this is important, because what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get a secret peek of the bottom card. What does that mean? Well, actually, Sometimes it doesn't even have to be as secretive as you think it is, because a lot of times when your spectator shuffles the cards and they're done, the trick hasn't started yet. So they just shuffle, so all right, here we go. And as soon as they hand them over, they think the trick is beginning. So we're already ahead of them because they're not trying to make this secretive. Most spectators, you get the odd one out. There's like, want me to shuffle? Here we go. But what happens is a lot of times when they're done, you can already see the bottom card if you just pay attention to it. So now, if that's the case, I don't even take the deck back. I know what it is. I just saw it. I know the queen of diamonds in this case is at the bottom, so it can be completely hands off, which is great. So you always want to look for those moments that you can take advantage of. Now, if you don't know what the card is and you didn't get a peek or you're not sure, all I do is after they're done shuffling is I hold my hand out like this. So my right hand holds the fingers out like this, okay? Because there's only two ways your spectator can now hand you those cards. They will put them in like this, or they will put them in like this. 9 out of 10 times they go in like this, but it doesn't matter. They might even hand them to you face up, but that happens very, very rarely, okay? So you can actually tell them, all right, face down if you're not sure about it. So they hand them to you, and now all I do is I'm in this position, and again, the trick hasn't even started yet. This is all attitude. I go, actually, you know what? You take the cards. I don't even want to touch them. And all I just did is I just slightly turn my hand so I get a quick peek. I don't do this. It's just a slight peek, and as I talk to them, I just get a quick glimpse. It should never look like you're looking for something. It's like, you know what? Actually, you take them. I don't even want to touch it. Almost as an afterthought. Okay? Now, if they happen to hand you the cards face up, you know, they will see the card. So one thing I would do is I would shuffle the cards myself one more time and then keep them to myself a little bit at the end. So now I see it's the ace of diamonds and I hand them back. But again, this very rarely happens. So let's actually stick with the ace of diamonds. That's our peak card. The spectator is holding the cards. What we're now going to do is called a force. So it's going to feel, if you do everything right, like a free selection of any card in the deck, but in reality, it's going to be the bottom one. There's hundreds of ways of forcing a card. A lot of times it uses sleight of hand. This one is sleight of hand free, just a little bit of audience management and misdirection. Now, all you're going to do is you're going to tell your spectator to cut the deck roughly in half. And I always show them what I want them to do. I always sort of mime the action first. So I could give the cards a cut and just cut them half on the table. So they understand they'll do it from the top like this. And now I tell them, okay, complete the cut, but actually put the cards down on like a funny angle, on like a weird angle. And I show them that I want them to twist it like this. So they're going to place the cards down like this. So again, this is the bottom card and it's going to end up in this position. And this is called the cross-cut force. One of the best techniques in my opinion, and definitely one of the best forces within sleight of hand with playing cards. Okay? Now this is where the misdirection comes in. And I'm not talking about, hey, look over there, Johnny. No. Time misdirection. So we're going to bring the focus away from the cards for just a couple of seconds, 10, 15 seconds, and I bring the focus up here. So my body language is all here. I bring them up and I look at the spectator. If you look at someone, they will look at you. So the focus is away and this is now your time to shine. Bring your personality out. Talk about the presentation of the trick. Set up the premise. Again, this is completely up to you. If you want to sort of follow in Chris Pratt's footprints, you can say footprints, footsteps, right? A German trying to do English sayings. Anyway, if you want to copy Chris Pratt, basically, you can say, okay, this is a trick called burn them. And I might need a few chances here, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, first of all, and then bring the focus back. This is enough misdirection for their brain to forget what's on top, what's on the bottom. All they will remember when they go back in their mind, and they will, is them shuffling, them cutting, and it all happened hands off. And this is what makes this so strong and so fair. Okay, so now again I tell them, okay, lift up the packet. Again, I mime what packet I mean, and just look at the card that you've cut to. And wording here is very important, that you've cut to. I subtly sneak that in there. So again, it just reminds them, yeah, that I've cut to. So now they look at what they think is a freely selected card that they shuffled and cut to, but obviously it's the bottom card, in this case the Ace of Diamonds. Now I tell them, put it back. And you know what, give them another shuffle. Again, almost as an afterthought, and this is the part where they go, oh, this seems fair. They don't tell you that, but trust me, they're going to think that. Okay, so that card is now somewhere shuffled in the deck. There's no way that you could know what it is, but obviously you do. You're way ahead. Okay, so that's that. The card is successfully forced, and now we're going to move on to finding the card. Okay, and this is going to be the part that's sort of dead time. This is where you really need to bring in some personality, some presentation, get them engaged, because this can be really, really boring, okay? And that's why I'm saying, like, look at the Chris Pratt video. I mean, it's a long progress and process, but he makes it somehow entertaining, just using personality and, you know, being funny and whatnot. So don't just, okay, let me try to find your card. Keep that in mind. Now, we're looking for the Ace of Diamonds. So I say, you shuffled the cards, I'm gonna try to find your card. But again, give me a few chances, this is hard. I didn't even touch them. You shuffled, you cut, you lost, okay. Just think of your card. And now all I'm doing is I'm obviously looking for that Ace of Diamonds. It's not always the Ace of Diamonds, by the way. Don't just look for the Ace of Diamonds. Look for the card that you've picked. But you know that, you know that. The Ace of Diamonds, where is it? Look at that, shuffled it to the top. Can't help myself, okay? Now if that's the case, it doesn't really matter, because your spectator doesn't see that. And now what you wanna do is you wanna cut the Ace of Diamonds to the face of the deck. So it's facing you right here on the bottom, but you wanna make sure it's the second card. So I take an extra card, so now the Ace of Diamonds is here. Obviously, most of the time the card will be somewhere in the middle, so I can see, where is it? Right there, I see the ace, and I take the jack with me, so now it's on the bottom. Okay, we're gonna get ready for the one slide that you have to do, okay? I hold the deck in my left hand in this position, thumb on the left hand side and all 4 fingers on the right hand side. And I'm gonna show to them right up here, okay? And this is nice. Most card tricks happen down here, so this can play really big and you can bring the cards up to your face and all the attention is here, which helps you again within the misdirection or executing the move that we do in just a second. You show it, it's not it. Is that really? Okay. Magician is in trouble, the classic plot. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna bring my hand down and it's gonna look like I'm gonna place that jack or whatever it was on the table, but in reality the jack stays here and it's going to be their card that was second from the bottom. And this is the move. It's called the glide. Classic beginner move. Don't underestimate it. Most people have retired this move when we, done sleight of hand for a while, but this is a great way to get you started and it's easy. Relatively easy. You're just going to use your fingers right here on the side and you're going to pull down that card. And you don't want to pull it down all the way, just slightly. So that card exposes right here, okay? And you don't do this up here, you do it as your hand moves down and you do it down here. Now you have all the cover in the world, so no one is going to see this. Frankly, this is quite an awkward position right here. I mean, if you stay like this for too long, it looks a little weird and a little silly, but not everything can be perfect, okay? So we hide that with presentation and attitude. No, that's not it. We move down and then all we do is I use my right middle finger. I'm going to contact the card underneath, not the actual jack. So I aim for the top corner right here and I'm now going to just drag or glide that card out. And if some other cards move with it, it doesn't matter. We square up and now because it's called burn them, I'm going to take that bottom card really the bottom card, and burn it in the middle of the deck, which gets rid of the evidence. So that jack is now gone. They think it's here, but it's their card. At this point, the trick basically is over. You are way ahead. You're now going to repeat that same action 3 times, but you don't have to do the glide anymore. That's the only time. So you can breathe, you can relax. Boom, show to them, no. Now you actually put the card down. There's no funny move. You burn the next one. Again, you want to play this up a little bit, okay? Don't just go, was that it? No. Was that it? No. That's not entertaining. So I do it until I got 4 cards here, set the rest of the deck down. We don't need it anymore. The trick is done. The Chris Pratt version of this trick, he now takes those 4 cards, rearranges them, and does the whole thing one more time, really trying to hammer down the fact that their card is not among those 4 cards. I don't think you need to do it. I think that's overkill. They've not seen it. Let's move to the finish. Okay, so their card is on the bottom, and now we're full circle where we were at the very beginning of this video, which is holding the cards like this between their thumb and the rest of the fingers. A thing that you could do right now, again, you want to set this up, make this a presentation, make this fun. You could try to be like, okay, was it close at least, any of those cards? And it might have been. They go, yeah, maybe. It's like, was it a black one? And you can sort of start to read their mind because you peeked it. You know what it is. I say, no. It's like, oh, it's a red one. And it really seems like you're messing up. It's a diamond? Now you get something right. It's like, okay, think of the whole card. Ace of diamonds. Boom. So they might think, okay, that's your sort of solution because you messed up. And the more you can convince them that you really messed this trick up, which is really, really hard, because in the back of their mind, they always go, oh, this is just being played. He knows what's going on. But if you can fully convince them that you messed up, the ending is going to hit way harder. So you can do that as a little bonus, read their mind, or you can not do that and be like, okay, it wasn't one of those, it wasn't. Just think of your card. Let me improvise. And now again, we do the finish. You hit them. Drama, whatever you want to call it. One card stays in their hand, and it's going to be the one they're thinking of. And this is such a strong moment because the magic that happens in your spectator's hands is always stronger. Period. That's a fact because it happens in their hands. That's literally what it is. Okay? And that's the trick. That is everything. It's a slapper. I hate myself for that line. All right, you made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy practicing this trick and more importantly, performing it. Have the courage, go out there and actually try it out on your friends, your coworkers, your family, whoever it is. And don't worry if it goes wrong. Don't be afraid of it messing up. A lot of people stop themselves from actually trying a trick or two because they think, I'm probably gonna fail. It's not that big of a deal, even if it goes wrong. It's just a card trick. It could be worse. And I want to stress one more time, watch that full performance of Chris Pratt. Yes, this is a simple beginner card trick, which is not technically challenging. But let me tell you, with the right presentation, with the right amount of energy, you can see it plays great and people are engaged, they're involved, and those were genuine reactions at the end. I mean, they did not think that he's going to pull it off. So there's a lot to learn in terms of just presentation. That's it, because let's be honest, we can be technically the best magicians in the world and do everything flawlessly, but if you're falling asleep while performing that trick, your audience won't care. Okay, so just wanted to remind myself and everyone else out there that whenever you perform a trick, even though you practice it 100 times at home to your invisible friends, it's the first time they're gonna see that trick. Remember that. So put everything into that one performance. All right, enough talking. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. How would you present this trick? And have you done this trick if you're already an experienced magician back in the day? And subscribe. All right, see you next time. Peace.